Welcome back to Geeks Are Sexy, fourth Friday of the month. That means we're talking about business leadership and how to be successful here in Las Vegas, whether that's in your business life or your personal life. I hope you are enjoying the little bit of winter we're getting today. I grew up in the Northeast, and so this is not winter to me, but this is definitely a nice change from some of the heat and the sun we get around here. So I hope everybody's enjoying that. Like I said, we're on Geeks Are Sexy. I've rambled a little bit, but my first guest today is Mike Beatty. He's from Strategic Wealth Design, and he's a financial advisor, and he's going to talk a little bit today about how you can start planning for some of your goals in life and how someone like Mike can help you. So welcome, Mike. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I will say that I don't appreciate the cold. I'm a native here, and I was born and raised here, so the cold, I don't do well with it, even though maybe you do.
Well, yeah, and I know not everyone is appreciating what we've got here today, and to be honest, I was a little caught unawares as well. Had to change what I was wearing today because I was a little chilly as well. So, but it's always nice to get a change, especially when things are always so static here with our weather. So
true, that's true. That's true.
But I hope everybody's bundled up and keeping warm and enjoying. If you got snow in your part of town, I hope you enjoyed it. So, well, Mike, let's get to it. Let's get off of me talking about the weather because I don't think anybody tuned in for that. Why don't you tell us what someone like you does, what a financial advisor does, and how you help people?
Yeah, so as a financial advisor, we do really 5 things. We help people get organized. We help people protect their income. And then we also help people build up liquidity. And then we help them figure out retirement and investment as long-term growth. To kind of touch on each one of those, if you will, so organization is really a big deal right now, if you will, because there are so many financial products out there, and there's a lot of confusion. There's so many different ways that you can go, that just getting somebody organized is a huge help, especially nowadays. I mean, everybody has a bank account over here, a credit card over here, a car loan over here, a mortgage over here, all with different institutions. And so it becomes very confusing. You have to check 7, 8 different websites just to figure out where all your financial
Absolutely.
stuff is.
I know I do, and I think I'm down to 2. And it's still a little bit of a challenge, and so I want to hit those other 4 points. But before we jump any further into those other 4 points, if someone's interested in coming to meet a financial advisor and sitting down with a financial advisor, what can they do? What should they be doing to get organized before they come see someone like you to make that first meeting go really smoothly?
Well, I think that's a great point. A lot of people think that they do have to get organized before they come see us, and that's why people hesitate or procrastinate coming and seeing us. And they actually don't have to get anything together before they come and see us, because that's what we help them do. And so I think that's a great question, because a lot of people do put that off and procrastinate and think, oh, I have to be organized, or I have to know everything, or I have to have a lot of money in order to go see a financial advisor. And that's not the case at all.
And that is a great point as well, is you don't have to have any money to go see a financial advisor. This is about your long-term goals.
That's right.
And where you want to go, not necessarily where you're at now. So I love to hear that people don't need to be organized when they come. So be as disorganized as you want. Bring all your stuff to Mike. He'll get it organized for you, and then he'll tell you how good or bad shape you're in. And don't do it now. Wait till the show's over, and then go get your shoebox full of stuff and all your list of websites and go see Mike. Okay, so the first point was getting organized, and people don't need to be organized to come see you.
That's right.
You're going to help them get organized.
Exactly.
Step number 2.
So step number 2 is actually protecting your most valuable financial resource. So a lot of people come to us, and we get this all the time, where people want to jump right into investing or right into retirement accounts.
Okay.
But we have to always back up and look at protecting your income, because your income is your wealth building tool. Without your income, you'll never be able to save, you'll never be able to invest, because your income is gone. And so the second thing we do is we take a look at protecting your income, to make sure that no matter what happens in life, whether it be an early death, a disability, a lawsuit, medical things that come up, no matter what happens, you always have an income in order to build wealth.
Okay, and can you go into a little more detail on what protecting your income means for some of our viewers who might not understand what that means?
Yeah, so protecting your income, there's really 3 things you have to protect your income from. You have to protect your income from potential lawsuit. You have to protect your income from an early death, because if somebody passes away, that's an income earner, or even just a stay-at-home spouse, there's an economic value there. And then you also have to protect your income from a long-term disability, where if you become sick or ill or injured and can no longer work, for worst case scenario the rest of your life, you need the income to come in for that and then a replacement for that.
So something to always be thinking about is you never know what's going to change in your life. How do you maintain that level of income that you need to have to keep coming in? So step number 3 or part number 3 was liquidity, right?
Correct. So liquidity. So liquidity is really simple. You need to have some cash laying around that's accessible, that's liquid, that you always have access to for the bumps that come in the road along the way. We call it an emergency fund because life happens. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And you never know what's going to happen. And so if you skip that part, then you're always going to have to go back to debt, or you're going to have to take out of investments and retirement accounts early, which there's penalties and fees, and there's costly to do that. So the third step is just basically building up some liquid funds.
Okay, building up some liquid funds, and talking to someone like Mike is how you determine how much liquid funds or how many much or many. I don't know how many liquid funds you should have. So moving on to step number 4 or part number 4 of this little plan.
And then part number 4 of the plan is basically to try and eliminate short-term debt. The biggest problem that we as Americans have in as far as saving the proper amount, the adequate amount towards retirement and towards investments is because we have too much short-term debt.
Okay.
Car loans, credit cards, personal loans, small student loans, if you will. So it's a matter of trying to create a strategy to get rid of that so that way we can save the proper amount.
One of the things I learned in business school was how, that there are ways to use debt to your advantage, and there are ways that you can really get yourself in trouble with debt. And the same, I think, is true not just in a business but in personal finance as well.
That's right.
So getting out of short-term debt, those credit cards, those car loans, all those other things that you've got, that's a key piece of building one of these plans. And then step 5?
Then step 5 basically is the fun part. Step 5 is trying to put at least 15%, ideally 15 to 25% of your income, your gross income, towards retirement and or some type of investment.
Okay.
And then that's where we come in as financial advisors, and we figure out where are the best places to put your retirement savings, where are the best places to invest your money into different investments, and that's kind of the fun conversation that we can have with clients.
Yeah, and what a lot of people think investing is stocks. And they don't understand that there are all kinds of different financial instruments out there that you can be involved in, and that gets really, really complicated.
Yep.
Whether you're talking about investing in individual stocks or funds or bonds, or the latest thing like people who are throwing a lot of money at cryptocurrency right now, which they're meeting with mixed success. And cryptocurrency is still currency. It's still currency speculation.
Yep.
My opinion is if you've got the money and you're willing to take the risk. That, for my personal opinion, not in my portfolio right now. But that is something that's out there as well. But the point is, someone like Mike helps you navigate all of that and figure out what the best instruments for you are to meet your long-term goals.
That's
and
right.
you help people set those goals as well.
Correct. Set the goals. And another thing that you touched on was risk, right? So everybody's different, right? There's people that are extremely conservative. There are people that are extremely aggressive. And so my job as a financial advisor is to lay out a bunch of different products and not just push one product on somebody, but lay out the pros and cons of a bunch of different products and see what product is right for that person, because everybody's different. And it's about mitigating that risk as well.
And now one of the things you will do is you'll help people put together their risk profile as part of your consultation with them, which I think is, you won't be expected to make these decisions on your own.
That's
or
right.
Just let Mike make those decisions for you. You're going to work together with your advisor to determine what your risk profile is. And there's a lot of factors that go into that we won't go into here. But if you want to learn more about that, go ahead and contact Mike. So before we get into how people can get to you and how they can find you and what you can do for them, I just want to ask you one question about you're working with a team as a financial advisor. What have you learned working with your team? What lessons about business? What lessons about people? What advice can you give our audience about working with a team and being successful as part of a team?
Yeah, teams are essential, especially in my industry, in the financial industry. I think teams are very essential, and that's how our industry is moving towards, because there's so many different topics in the financial world that it's very difficult to be an expert on every single one of those topics. So the company that I'm contracted with is a company called Guardian, and Guardian's been around since 1860, so over 150 years. And the nice thing about being contracted with Guardian is that on the team aspect of it, we have a specialist in each category that you can think of. And so when a client wants to sit down about a specific topic that perhaps I don't know a ton about, I can bring in my specialist that actually will sit down with us and tell us what we need to know.
Do you have an area you're particularly passionate about that you want to become an expert in?
Investments.
Okay.
And I feel like I know a lot about investments. The specific investments that I do are stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. There's a bunch of different investments out there that you alluded to, other things like annuities, real estate, but stocks, mutual funds, and bonds is really the specialty that I know.
Okay, great. Well, I won't ask you for a stock tip because I know you can't give us one today. So don't call in, don't write in and ask for stock tips. We can't give them to you. However, how can our audience get a hold of you? How can, if they want to sit down with you and have you help them out, determine that risk profile, figure out those long-term goals, and really just get the ball rolling, how can they get in touch with you?
Sure. So the easiest way is going to be I have a LinkedIn page, just my first and last name, Michael Beatty. So you can find me on LinkedIn. And then the other way is I have a Facebook page, a Facebook business page. That's an easy way as well. You can message me on either one of those. I have all of my contact information listed on the Facebook website as well and on the LinkedIn website. Is it okay if I give a phone number?
You give out,
Okay.
However, you can give out your address if you want.
we won't go that far.
Yeah.
But yeah, our phone number is 702-907-7444. And then my email address is just my first and last name, michael.beatty@thewp2.com.
Okay, great. So, Mike Beatty from Strategic Wealth Design, going to help you out figuring out your long-term plan, your long-term goals. I do have one more question for you. If someone's interested in becoming a financial advisor like you are, what's the path they can get on to do that?
If they're brand new in the industry, I would highly suggest finding a team structure. Nowadays, it's very difficult to just go into the industry by yourself if you're brand new to the industry. So I'd highly recommend interviewing with a bunch of firms that offer a team structure where you can get onto a team and learn from senior advisors.
Okay, so there's plenty of firms out there. Go take a look around and see if you find a team you like. So Mike, thank you for being a guest. We're going to bring you back for our panel discussion in just a little bit. I'm Jason LeDuc from Evil Genius Leadership Consultants. This is Geeks Are Sexy, and we'll be back with Jennifer Hart in just a few minutes.